Takozane everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Govmatlodi Ingoya Mabalabala. Be sure to subscribe, like, and do share your comments so that I can be eager to coming back and sharing the wisdom that So today's topic is about postpartum depression and postnatal depression between a man and woman. I know this is a very touchy topic, which I feel that we hardly talk about it because I don't know. It's a sensitive one, I guess. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to try and explain what is postnatal depression coming from Bokoko, and I am also going to try and explain what postpartum depression is according to Bokoko. So yes, guys, postnatal depression is that moment where you, as a pregnant woman after giving birth, obviously, you go through different types of, maybe let me say, you were suppressing that stress when you were pregnant. And now after giving birth, now that stress comes out and somehow it comes back and hits you very strongly, which really affects you to a point where you struggle to have a bond with your child. So postnatal depression comes after giving birth. And postpartum depression is when you are obviously pregnant, and after being pregnant, obviously, you know that as a woman, when you are holding that baby inside of your belly, there are certain types of tissues that come from you, blood that comes from you. I mean, imagine that baby has to have eyes, that baby has to have bones, that baby has to have a mouth and ears. And so a woman carries a lot. So the hormonal imbalances is the one that we call postpartum depression. And really, please believe it or not, but postnatal depression or postpartum depression does affect our partners, and our partners meaning abo baba, kerabona, batubarina, buntate, they also have that depression, but it's just unfortunate that we hardly speak about it, and it makes it difficult when they do not also share with us as women what they really go through emotionally through that phase of pregnancy. But I also think that there is a lack of communication between two parties, because we as women should be the ones that are schooling these men that, you know what, oh, you are out and about, and I am sitting here. I've got limited time to go out and have fun. Obviously, when you're a pregnant woman, you can't be going out at night, ugruva, whilst you're pregnant, because now you obviously have those feelings of maybe wanting to sleep, or, or you get irritated around a lot of people. So, yes, men need to be schooled about pregnancy, because, again, there's a rise of men giving us babies as women, and the relationship ends, and little do they as men understand that such things also can affect a child. That's why some kids also have childhood traumas, because obviously you get to experience a lot of things, but childhood traumas are not only experienced just because of stepfathers or stepmothers, but it's somehow, somewhere, a lack of a biological parent. Somehow, it kind of leaves a clot inside of your brain, and that is something that we should not run away from. So today I want to share my experience or my knowledge coming from Bukukule Tata Moholo. Guys, there's just a lot of things that are going through on between the young adults, and not only the young adults, also teenagers are also going through this. And I mean, we need to school each other because no one was born perfect and no one was born with a menu of how life should come out to be. So, guys, I believe that there are symptoms or there are signs of postpartum depression or postnatal depression, which are, you find when it comes to men. Let me share the part of men. You find that during pregnancy, especially when it comes to your partner, you go through a phase where you withdraw. You feel like you want to spend more time, with your friends, and you want to spend a lot of time maybe drinking alcohol as much as you want to, because of the lack of communication between partners as we are both pregnant. Through that moment, it's not only the woman that is pregnant, but also the man is pregnant. So there are also signs of a man maybe losing interest in certain types of things. Maybe he's lost interest in being sexually attracted to you. There's just a whole lot of things that men also go through our pregnancy moments, but it's very rare for them to share with us, which kind of creates a barrier between the two. And that's sometimes the reason why abantu bayahlukana, after a baby is born or during pregnancy, because there's a lack of communication, and a man also becomes overwhelmed because, remember, now responsibility is coming in, and you are starting to calculate that now, I'm not going to buy alcohol as I want to. Those shoes, those 5,000 shoes, 5,000 rand shoes, I can't just buy them at any time. Now I have to manage my accounts and my money, because now there's a third person coming, into this world. And I guess this overwhelming feeling of receiving a new baby into our lives, especially for men, and not all men, but some men or most men, it becomes a challenge that sometimes you get to drift away from your partner emotionally. Even your presence in their life becomes absent, because now you are giving your time to things that are not fruitful or things that make you feel better at that moment, but not forgetting that even when you wake up the next morning, they will still be there. So men need to be schooled that we as women, when we do become pregnant, a lot of things changes. As a woman, you go through that phase of, let me say, you're so used to you having a flat stomach. Now your body's starting to change because there's a baby inside of you. And the more the baby grows, the belly grows. The more the baby grows, for some people, the weight changes, and a lot of things changes. Your face also changes for some people, or most people, and you start having low self-esteem. It's part of the postnatal depressions. You start having, even not postnatal depression only, but even during pregnancy, you have those moments where you just start having low self-esteem, because remember, you can't be dressing as you want to be dressing, or dressing up in those high waists and crop tops. Now things are just so limited for you to do certain things, and that somehow, creates that moment where you just become sometimes impatient with your partner, that you are not being vocal as to what is the reason for your mood to change into what you are right now. And again, you find that a woman also goes through a moment where, after giving birth, they struggle to connect with the child, as I have said in the beginning. To make an example of that, I'm speaking about the moment where the child cries and you do not connect with that child in anyhow. You struggle to comfort that child in a way that child should be comforted, just because you are going through that postnatal depression phase. And a lot of people are not aware of that. That moment also when you feel like there are people that sometimes they feel like, I feel like just killing this child, it's just a feeling. It's not something that you're doing, but it's something that comes into your mind. And if you entertain it, eventually you might end up doing it, because remember, you become anxious of a lot of things. Some people become anxious that, our relationships will change, obviously he's not going to see me the same. A lot of things happen when a woman is pregnant. You've got insecurities, you've got moments where you just cry for nothing, or you cry you become emotional because of things that you are thinking about. And sometimes I have realized that, women go through a lot during pregnancy, that they are not supported emotionally. And I feel that is the reason why it also leads to that postpartum or postnatal depression, and that becomes a big problem, because you remember that postnatal depression, or that postpartum depression, can grow from what it is to something bigger, which is a mental health issue. And you might find yourself in a chronic medication just because of that, because of something that you were meant to talk about, something that you were supposed to cough out and share, but because of you suppressed everything at the back of your mind, now it becomes a big problem to you. You become overwhelmed too as a woman, because of the situation that's going on. And I'm not saying all women go through it, but most women go through it. And again, I want to share about how, these depressions are sometimes also triggered by generic, when you have a generic illness or sickness from home, a history of having a mental health issue at home. When you are pregnant, it might be triggered by different types of, things. You find that you are actually not even the first to have that postnatal depression at home, or you are not even the first to have depression at home. You find that your great grandmother had it, you find that your great grandfather had it, or maybe your grandfather had it, or maybe your parents have it, or brothers or sisters. So some things are generic. It's not always that you pick up things just for fun, or just because you're going through a lot. No, sometimes some things are triggered by generic, when you have a history of mental health issues and at home, from home, which is similar to when they ask you about high blood, who has, high blood at home, so they are trying to collect that history. So yes, guys, that is the postnatal depression, or the postpartum depression between man and woman, that I would have loved to share with you guys, because I believe that knowledge is key. I might be sharing light to someone and saying to someone that even when you are going through that phase, you need to speak to someone, because I understand that a lot of pregnancies have challenges inside, where you find that it's either maybe your baby daddy left you, or you decided to break up with him. There's a lot of things that change during pregnancy. And another thing is that you remember that you are not going to go out after giving birth just like that hour. You're going to have that moment where you just share a year or two away from this life of your normal life of partying, whatever, whenever you want to, such things. So yes, I shared a couple or few symptoms or signs that show postnatal depression between a man and woman, and I hope that I have made light to someone. And please do share your comments so that I can be able to come back with the wisdom that and guys, please be free to share my videos all around, so that some people can also learn a thing or two about the wisdom that I share on my channel. To those that have subscribed, And to those that haven't subscribed, don't forget to hit that button. And guys, I'm going to try and post short videos on my Instagram page, which is MK Soul Therapy 9. So do follow that page so that you can get updates on what's going on, because I am starting to have those sessions of random readings, and I do have also that moment where I'm going to try and do dream interpretations and more, understanding the wisdom of having a calling, and more things that is to come this November. And until we meet again, I hope I have shared what I needed to share, and may I heal those that need healing. And I would really appreciate if one day, we would have that moment where really pregnant women would be getting together, and just talking about the challenges that we go through, or the challenges they go through as they are pregnant, because that might add support to someone's life, add support to someone's, emotions. So Tokozani, until we meet again.